Okay. It is now 5:04 on Tuesday, 17 November at 5:04. So a roll call, please.
Trustee Head,
Here.
Leaf,
Here.
Matz,
He's
Trustee
here.
Matz is
I
here.
can see him.
Okay, Nelson,
We lost his audio.
Here.
Pike,
Here. Okay, there's Phil. Okay, I'm here too.
President Wecken,
Here.
Trustee Zeiss.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is 2021 proposed budget. Open the public hearing. And we have no public in the building, so I'll have Melissa start with the presentation of the 2021 proposed budget by the village administrator. So,
Okay,
Melissa?
I'm gonna share my screen here.
We got it.
Okay. So this is the 2021 annual village budget for the village of North Hudson. And these are the major items that are included with the 2021 annual budget. After a series of budget meetings held by the Finance Committee and staff members, the recommended 2021 village budget is as presented. Total revenues and expenditures for the 2021 budget is $2,012,010. The proposed tax levy is at $1,605,523, which is a decrease to the village property tax levy of $33,781. Oh my gosh. Sorry. From 2020. This amount includes net new construction of 2.131%, which is $29,499. Total allowable principal and interest on loan payments decreased by $63,280, which that accounts for the max levy that's why that went down so much. So the village mill rate will be 4.45 per 1,000 of assessed value. The overall mill rate at this time is 22.87, including all taxing jurisdictions. However, this mill rate may be reduced further by the school credit, which has not yet been released by the Department of Revenue. It is anticipated that the unassigned fund balance will be approximately $844,460 at the end of 2020, which is within the 25% of expenditures policy. Shared revenue remains consistent with 2020, and state transportation aid decreased by $9,677. There is a 16.7% increase in health insurance premiums for employees. Alternate health plans were reviewed, and the current plan is still the best option. There was a 2.5% wage increase included for representative employees. A $2,000 increase above the required 3-year average to the library was included as requested by the Hudson Area Joint Library. There was an increase of $4,035 to the fire contract. $143,061 was included in the use of available funds for the following purchases, of which $32,694 will come from assigned funds. There was $45,000 for a new police department squad, $22,000 for a new server for the police department, $33,367 for various public works capital equipment, $10,000 for 4 Badger books, which are electronic poll books for elections, $2,500 for a certified survey map to be done for the Public Works Garage property. Funds for this will come from the Public Works Garage Assigned Fund. $16,094 for the Willow River Dam Rehab Project. This is all in an assigned fund that will be used for this amount. $14,100 for the 2021 share of the village revaluation. Funds will come from the assigned fund set up for this expense. This slide shows the comparison between taxes paid in 2019, 2020, and what will be paid in 2021. It includes all the taxing jurisdictions, which are the county, the village, the Hudson School District, and WITC. The county's mill rate increased from 4.22 to 4.33. The village mill rate, you can see, went from 4.64 this year, and it's going down to 4.45. The Hudson School District saw another large increase. Their mill rate is going from 12.88 up to 13.59. And WITC saw a minimal increase. Their mill rates from 0.47 to 0.51. The overall mill rate at this time is the 22.87. However, like I stated, we don't have the school credit amount, hasn't been received yet. But if we receive the same that we did in this year, then it could go down to 20.82. So hopefully we'll see, if not the same amount, if not more. It usually does increase from year to year. And this slide shows the allocation of property taxes. So the counties, their levy amount is $1,559,551.96. They make up 19% of the tax bill. The village is $1,605,523. We make up approximately 20% of the tax bill. The Hudson School District is $4,899,342. And they make up just shy of 60%. It's 59 point and a decimal point. So about 59% of the tax bill. And then WITC is $183,608.49. And they make up about 2% of the total percentage of tax bill. And that is all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Nope.
No?
I think you did a fantastic job on that, Melissa.
Well, thank you.
Melissa, going back to the spreadsheet, the slide prior to that. So you've already allocated the less school credits within
No.
the yellow highlighted there?
No, it's in yellow because I haven't received it yet.
Okay, I thought that. So you just
Yep, the
right now.
department-
Go ahead.
The Department of Revenue hasn't released the numbers yet. I was hoping they'd do that today. So if you notice, that number is the same as the year before. That's because it's this year's amount. So right now, that's why I say the overall mill rate is that 22.87. If we get at least what we got last year or this year, it'll go down to 20.82. But without having that amount, the overall is not known at this time. But hopefully we'll get even more and it'll go down below the 20 mark.
Do they have to provide that by a certain time so you can?
By
question, Kathy,
tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
tomorrow. Okay, good. Okay.
By tomorrow, but generally I get it earlier, which is why I was hoping that we would have it. But I just checked and we don't have that as of yet.
Melissa, best presentation I've seen for all the ones I've sat through this year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, too bad the budget's already in. You can't raise your rate any lot higher.
Yeah.
No, I think you did a fantastic job also. Thank you very much.
You're
And-
welcome.
And also, as I was playing a little earlier, what you guys have done with the money that was allocated through the government to make up for the virus that will be not named, that you did a great job, and we're very happy with that.
Yeah, and I'll give an update at the next board meeting as to what all we were able to do with that. So,
Outstanding.
okay. Does anybody else have questions on this? I'll stop sharing my screen here. Give me a second.
Looks like we're good.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't think anybody is joined the Zoom meeting with public comments. If there is, would you please let us know? Not hearing any Trump or any comments from from the public? I'll move to close the public hearing. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay,
Aye.
thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is resolution number 2020-07, adopting the 2021 annual village budget and establishing the tax levy. Approval requested. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is that Brian?
That's Tim.
Tim, thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kirk. Further discussion on the budget? Any further discussion on the budget? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Brian,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Thank you. And the next item on the agenda, resolution number 2020-08, declaring opposition to the St. Croix County proposed communicable disease ordinance, discussion and possible approval. Do I have a motion to discuss the resolution?
And I move to approve, I think, resolution number 2020-08.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kirk. If I don't know how many of you have looked at it, I could certainly read it. And I've had numerous phone calls and face-to-face meetings with people that are totally against this. So we were asked to, can we make a resolution opposing the the county's ordinance, and for the public, I will read it. Whereas we, the people of the Village of North Hudson Board of Trustees, St. Croix County, Wisconsin, as duly elected representatives of the people of the Village of North Hudson, opposed the proposed St. Croix County, Wisconsin COVID-19 communicable disease ordinance for potential violations of the Constitution of the United States. And whereas the St. Croix County Health and Human Services Board Committee and the Health and Human Services Public Health Communications Subcommittees survey respondents overwhelmingly disapprove of the proposed COVID-19 communicable disease ordinance. And whereas the overwhelming majority of the speakers who offered citizens' comments and attended the Health and Human Services Public Health Communications Subcommittee Town Hall on October 7th, 2020, spoke against the proposed COVID communicable disease ordinance. And whereas Section 1 of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America states, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of the life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction of the equal protection of the laws. And therefore, we, the people of the Village of North Hudson, do oppose and request the St. Croix County Health and Human Services Board Committee and the Health and Human Services Public Health Communications Subcommittee withdraw the proposed COVID-19 communicable disease ordinance. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Village of North Hudson Board of Trustees, St. Croix County, Wisconsin, hereby declare the Village of North Hudson, St. Croix County, Wisconsin, to be in opposition to the proposed St. Croix County Health and Human Services COVID-19 communicable disease ordinance. And it would be passed and adopted today if the board so votes. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak, or do you want to do a in favor first? How do you
Well,
want to do it?
I'd be actually Mr. President, but
Sorry, you're chairing the
You
meeting.
I mean, I said open for discussion.
Okay. So obviously, I'd like to talk a little bit about sacrifice as Americans and how it used to be. It used to be that we would pull together to work together during a crisis. We have seen a lack of leadership from the federal government on down to the Republican-led legislature. It's ridiculous. And therefore, we need to lead. In the absence of leadership, we need to lead. Voluntary compliance of the Health and Human Services guidelines haven't been followed. People are getting sick. Hospitals are full. And what are we going to do when we don't have any space in our hospitals for people that have simple things, appendicitis, heart attacks? Where are they going to go? We've had cases that have been shipped to La Crosse because there isn't space. What are we going to do? We need to do better and we need to work together. This has needlessly been politicized. So obviously I'm going to vote no, and that's just what I have to say.
Thank you, Kathy. Anyone else?
Yep, I was just wanting to ask about the survey respondents and if we have a quantity of the numbers opposed and for. When I was on St. Croix's website, it just said that both opinions were represented in the surveys. It didn't give a quantity, and I was wondering if you could speak to that.
Adam, our PIO, would have more information on that. It was mostly the reason we did the survey. It was not a forum to have a vote on whether people were in favor or against. The intention was to get questions and concerns so that we could address them in our virtual town hall. So if people had questions about certain language in that ordinance, which is now different, the one that is before us now is much more specific. It addressed a lot of the comments made in the open public forums. It has a sunset date. It's specific to COVID-19. There are only 2 types of orders that can be made, and they are made based on the Harvard Path to Zero metric. So there is a metric for which we know and guide. It would go into effect. It would be a face coverings ordinance or order, and also capacity limits. And I understand businesses are struggling. We want schools to stay open, but the way for us to do that is to work together. We are on a bad trajectory right now, and I don't want to not see you guys in 6 months. We have to follow the guidelines and pay attention. I don't want to lose friends and neighbors. I've already lost people that I know from COVID. It's crazy. And they didn't have any pre-existing conditions. So yeah, I'm passionate about this issue because I care about public health and safety, and we all should. And the fact that the legislature hasn't met in 7 months should tell you that they have no interest in our small businesses and public health. There's a lot that they could do at the state level if they would come into session. And they have refused because they politicize the issue. And I'm sick because it's needlessly politicizing, and at what cost? We're all suffering from COVID. We're all sick to death of it. We don't want to hear the word again, Stan. I know you just said it. We don't want to hear it. This isn't how we wanted to spend our time. We wanted to work together and keep things moving forward. But here we are. So are we going to lead, or are we going to just let this thing run out of control?
Sounds to me like you're going to rule rather than lead. But
I would like to add to that. I completely understand a lot of mass stuff, but we're going to tell people that they can't have 10 people in their house. Like, that's on this ordinance. We're going to.
That means not an invitation only event. It's public gathering.
Yeah. So
I'm picturing.
At 10.
When I'm picturing that, Kirk, I'm thinking the intention behind it is like a party that's open, like you would see maybe on a college campus where it's just wide open, tons of kids are coming to hang out. I don't think it is meant that grandma, grandpa, cousins are sitting around that the Thanksgiving table, you're going to be in violation of that. I picture it as a gathering in your home where the wording of it says that anyone, it's like that openness to anyone from the public coming in.
That should scare you that it's open. You're guessing. That's what you assume it, but is that what it is? We assume they'll do it right that way. Right?
It's in the wording of it. I'm going to take a look at it right now, but it's worded that it's not talking about people that are within your family or friends. It's talking about being open to the public, opening your home to the public coming inside.
Yeah, let me just clarify that. And you can have as many invited guests friends, family, strangers in your house as you want, as long as they're invited. If you put a sign out in front of your house that invites everyone in the neighborhood, invited or uninvited, which essentially creates a public space that is your house, that's going to be restricted. But you can have 100 family members in your house and it's excluded. I know I had one clerk ask me, he said, well, is this going to prevent me from having Thanksgiving dinner? Because that's what we were told at our board meeting. And that's just not the case.
No, I don't believe we give that kind of power to an unelected, unaccountable bureaucrat.
I disagree. There's other
Of course you
instances
do.
of people that that enforce ordinances that aren't elected.
Who's going to enforce your ordinance?
The public health department will receive complaints and then they will be run through our corporation council. And as Kelly mentioned, if you watched any of the tapes, and if you haven't, I suggest you do. She's not going to run around with tickets for enforcement. They're about education and voluntary compliance. But as we know, if we don't have teeth to something, we say it as a board ourselves. If we have ordinances that don't have any teeth, what good are they, right? So it's working with people to get them to comply, to stop the spread of a deadly virus. If we saw this, if we could see this virus, that's what's difficult. We are waging war with something that we can't see. If we could actually see it and we were being invaded like we are right now with this thing, we would have a whole other attitude, I think. But it's really hard and we have to trust science and data, and that's really difficult.
Well, providing that the science and data is allowed from both sides of the science and data. The data that we're being supplied for the CDC and the government doesn't even stack up according to anything that I read. So, I mean,
well,
you know, you
Stan,
said
you and I are
in
just
your
never
response
gonna
to
Data
me,
is data.
we're gonna
There's
agree to
not
disagree.
sides to science.
Science, yeah, the experts, right? I could show you tons of different studies. There's a study out right now that the AMA and the different medical journals won't publish because it goes against the narrative.
No, it goes against true science and recognized reliable science. I'm sorry, science is always
True
right.
science.
And you can believe what you want, Stan. I don't know. I think we should just vote because we're going to sit here all
I'm
night.
good with
I
that.
could debate with you
And
for hours.
Brian's
if
got
you'd
another
like.
meeting coming up, so yeah, I'm just fine with that. Brian, a vote yay for the amendment or nay?
Yay.
Kirk,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Phil,
No.
Lori,
No.
Kathy.
No.
I vote yes. Motion carries 4-3. And with that, this meeting is adjourned at 5:30.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.